You're on the couch, tripping with Dr. Pete.
We're getting shaky out here in the streets. Man, it's a day like no other, man. I mean, I gotta tell you, one of the things I pick up on because I work with people, I'm, a therapist. I pick up on all the stress that the people are feeling. Oh boy, division even with families. I heard one person tell me that they were considering not talking to their father anymore because they're a Trump supporter. Like the pain is so great, it's dividing. Forget dividing the country. It's dividing families. Dividing families? Is it really? Like we're really gonna do that? Like you really considered leaving the country because you don't agree with the people's politics? I mean, man, this is it befuddles me. I think about, are we the same people that fought for our rights in this country? Fought through slavery for the right to vote? Are we the same people? Those same people whose now lineage is saying, I'd rather not vote at all? I don't know. I got a lot of questions. Well, maybe the audience can answer, see what's going on. Good to hear you, folks. I hope you can hear me. Let me know how I sound. I'm using the little headphones here. I don't know how they'll sound, but hold on.
Dr. Pete! Is it really
sis.
you? Is
Talk
it
to me.
really Mr. Dr.
Talk
Pete?
to me.
How the hell have you been?
Come on, Granny.
Oh, I love
Granny.
seeing your bacon.
Whew, it feels good to be seen. You ever hear the old folks say that? Yo, I love old folks sayings. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to keep them all. Let's keep them all. I bet maybe that's what we should make the topic of the show, old folks sayings. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
Oh, it's true, Dr. Pete. I've got family members right now who refused to speak to me, called me of the devil for not liking Trump. I didn't call them anything. I didn't tell them anything about their choice and who they chose to vote for. But because I said I wasn't voting for him, they called me of the devil.
Bro, it's crazy.
It broke my heart.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The thing that this has taught me is how to listen to people differently. I really do. I listen to people differently now. When they are telling me I'm curious in a way as to why they would have picked Donald Trump or why not. I'm curious. And here's what I've been hearing lately, which is concerning to me. There's some really good reasons why some people picked Donald Trump. I was like, whoa! I was kind of shocked because I was like always in the echo chamber of, oh, it's impossible, to like Donald Trump. And so I was listening and curious, and I started to see some of their perspective, and I'm like, okay, I see why you're doing this. You're not just some grave lunatic, because there are so many of his supporters that are absolute nut jobs. Not absolute nut jobs. It's hard to feel like the party as a whole is not just embodied by that energy, and I just don't feel that way. I don't even feel like Donald Trump is all bad. And there's a thing in psychology called object relations. And in object relations, they say no object is all bad, no person is all bad. And what we have to deal with, where they say neuroses or craziness, your shit, right? It comes from not being able to deal with ambiguity. Now that's powerful. That's a powerful concept. Neurosis comes from not being able to deal with ambiguity. And so when we are in ambiguous situations, it's easier for us to just treat it in dichotomous terms, good or bad, categorical. I like this person, I don't like this person. But the reality is people are much more complex than black or white, Republican or Democrat, good or bad. It's much, much more complex than that. But our inability to tolerate the complexity makes us glaze over it. And as a result, instead of embracing the complexity, we try to simplify things to make it palatable to our understanding. And we miss so much when we do that. So I'm curious about the gray in this situation. I'd like to think that we this is going to be a very controversial statement, that we are mourning that we didn't have our person win. And that's fine. That's reasonable. You know, we want our kind of issues to be at the forefront of the conversation. But the reality is, our country is facing a number of issues. And whoever's going to hold this thing together, they're going to have to recognize there is not just one subset of the population that the president represents. He represents the whole country, the whole country. And the reality is, once we get past this notion of a competition of who won and who's in charge, you know, at this point, we're supposed to come back and be one United States. Now that might be a bit hopeful, right? A bit more than we can imagine as a country. But we are so like there's such a huge division in our country that I don't feel like it's healthy, period. Like, we have to stop thinking like they are some other planet, although some of them feel like they're from another planet. For sure. Let me pop a bubble here and see what folks are thinking.
Oh no, I get why some of people chose him. But yeah, for me personally, I do not like the man. I didn't like some of the stuff that happened last time he was in POTUS seat, you know. We lost a lot of resources and things that I needed for my son.
Yeah, that's real.
And I'm a little worried for this time around. But that's why I did not vote for him.
You should be. Oh, that's it. Now, here we go. Here we go. This is why I came on stereo. This is the conversation I wanted to have. Here we go. Now, that is at the core of the issue. People are distracted by morality issues that have been attached to what is ultimately an issue of social welfare or not. That's really what it boils down to. Is, do we fund, as a government, programs to help the poor, to help people in need, to make it more balanced, to disseminate support into the pockets of the country that are struggling in real ways? Do we give programs to support? That's the core issue. That is the issue of beyond any other issue. That is the issue. But we're not looking at that issue. We're distracted by abortion. We're distracted by the Gaza Strip. We're distracted by all these other things that are real things, but nothing like the issue. They pale in comparison to the issue of social welfare. That is the issue. And so what we fail to realize is voting for Trump as a Republican is pulling back resource from people that voted for him. The irony is that these people, a lot of them are under the delusion, like it's a subset of society that's betting for the social welfare. It's not. It's white America. White America is the greatest participants in these social welfare programs, whether albeit insurance, housing, or the biggest food substance. They are the number one recipients, but they are voting on other politics, on other issues. Our country is not only divided, but it's half just not really seeing what's really the issue. And we are in our way. We are in our way in a bad way. But I do have an idea of why we have become so polarized. I believe that the reason why we've become so polarized is because we are in these echo chambers on social media that exaggerate and amplify our understandings in a given direction. Now, one of the tricky parts about being somewhat of a centrist, I find myself being exposed to both sides of the story, and I'm curious about the other side of the story, so the algorithm kind of feeds me. And sometimes what they have to say is scary wrong, and sometimes what they have to do is what they have to say is scary right? And so it's like, okay, wow, I can understand why they're getting deeper in their side of thinking. And conversely, you listen to CNN, it's the most emotional newscast. There's so much emotional vitriol, like hatred towards Donald Trump. No wonder why he's like snapping back at you like, CNN, you guys are horrible. You guys are the worst news. Right? Like, of course, fake news network. That's what they call you. Fake news network. Yes. So that's right. Donald Trump. That's right, Donald Trump. But it's real. We're going into these silos that are feeding our understandings and polarizing us. There's research on it. I'm telling you, we are being polarized as a country deeper by social media. It's magnified. People have so much information, and the information that's echoing in their minds and amplifying their ideas and ultimately their bias. The best way to say it is that social media is amplifying bias, folks. It absolutely 100% is amplifying the bias. That's how groups work. So you get a group with a cajillion people and thousands and tens of thousands liking a given comment. That's going to sway your ability to think. Something's got to be there. If 20,000, 100,000 people like that comment, something needs to be thought about this statement. What's going on with this perspective? And if it's not against what you believe, you kind of become open to it. That's how social media works. It's influencing minds 100% of the time.
Hey, Dr. P. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you. I hope you and your wife are okay.
Thank you.
Wow, it's so good to see you. What brought you back around these streets?
Come on. We had an election. It was crazy. They put in, Donald Trump, and I wanted to talk about everybody's reaction is so strong. I wanted to kind of like see if we can have a conversation about the election. I wanted to put out some thoughts, but I also wanted to hear some of what the people are thinking. I've been working with patients, and what they keep coming back is there's just a lot of pain for the folks who felt like Donald Trump is dangerous for the country. I won't even say people who were supporters of Kamala, but more so people who just didn't want to see Trump in office. They're really deeply scared of that reality, and those people and that energy that is representing a real hate. I don't think that's 100%. I don't think that's Trump. I think Trump is connected to those people, but I don't think that's him completely. Because I think there's a number of people in the country who are actually good people who voted for Trump. I believe that. What up, you guys? It's Dr. Pete. You're hanging out on Stereo. It's Friday night. Hey, cool beans. Hold on, check your cheesecake. Check yourselves in the building. What's up, y'all?
Holy fucking shit.
Hey.
It's Dr. Pete. Hey, Dr. Pete, I'm sorry, I'm smacking this shit. That is so rude of me. I got excited. Thank you, Granny, for sending me the link. I had breakfast. Well, I'm currently having breakfast for dinner. Got some scrambled eggs and some sausage. Little grits, little orange juice. Yes. I'm listening. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Yo, can I tell you what we're talking about? I've been eating clean, y'all. Yo, I'm feeling. I feel the weight coming down. I'm feeling confident and shit. I've been doing yoga. I'm doing like a 30-day yoga challenge. I'm getting my swag back. I got a nice little haircut going right now. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm in that mode where I'm putting the gel back in my hair and shit. Like I'm like, yeah, you're you know what? You're a good-looking motherfucker. I'm in that space. You know what I mean? Like converse to that. I hate my body. I don't feel good about me. I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, let's get on Stereo. Let's get it rocking. Let's feel good. Let's love ourselves. Let's make ourselves feel better about ourselves by making ourselves better. Ooh, I love that. I hope you heard it right here with Dr. Pete. What up, y'all?
I work for a low-income clinic, right, out here in LA. I can't say the name because you know why. When you work for places like that, you're not supposed to talk about that. You get in trouble. Yeah. But you remember last time, Dr. Pete, I got my education with you. Remember? Yeah. I graduated and we celebrated. Well, I work for a low-income clinic, and yeah, everybody's stress levels are on high. I don't know how many clients, not clients, members, that's what we call them, members. How many members have been upset, they're worried, they're scared for family members. Like the things that they're talking about, this is number one issue. It's been insane.
Yeah. It's really hard for folks to really digest the fact that what Trump represents on some levels from their perspective, is being supported. Like a person who's a felon, a person who is, it's like, it just doesn't make any sense that there could be such a person who speaks mistruths, and it's been well documented for that, right? That from their perspective, these things, just how could he get into office and then be overqualified, right? Wildly successful Black woman, Kamala Harris, the vice president. And she's serving in office. I don't know if you guys know this, but she was actually president. There was an hour and a half that President Biden went under anesthesia. And during that hour and a half, she was sworn in as president. So this woman has actually served as president. I don't know. Fact check me on that. See if I'm talking crazy. What's up, you guys? It's so good to hear you. Oh, my gosh. Some of my favorite people out there. Hold on.
Oh, my God. Is it a ghost? What happened? Who's this person?
I'm here, baby.
Dr. Pete
baby.
is in the house.
Yeah,
What's up? What's up? Came through to say hi. All right, Liquid.
Don't just come through to say hi. Please stay. Come on. It's a show. I haven't done a show in forever. Liquid, Cheesecake, check yourself. Spirited. Everybody's here. Hold on. Listen, I'm excited. To have you guys come out tonight. Let's see who else is out here. We got a dad here. I like that guy.
Dr. Pete.
What up, bro?
Welcome back, man.
Hey, man, I'm hanging out.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom. Listen, it's good to be with you, my brother. How you doing, man? I got to tell you, we're talking about really the heaviness that the country is feeling. And I got to tell you, this is how I'm thinking about it. And you tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you don't agree. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we have an opportunity. When the Republican is brought into office, it means small government. When this is in theory, and a whole bunch of other stuff has been attached to it, but in theory, it's supposed to be small government. I think what small government means, and it pulls back on social welfare programs. What it means is certain people will not be getting help, but it also means that it will reduce some of the potential for our learned helplessness. Some people need these supports, absolutely. But in other ways, we also need to become tighter as a community. We need to create more of our own resources. We need to support each other, and we need to value the family unit, because that's how you traverse obstacles financially and every other way. Stay tight as a family. Train your family, build your family, make them strong spiritually, intellectually, physically, make them be able to defend themselves, provide, farm for themselves. Really, it says to us, I think, it's like, okay, so we got to be better. We got to be better. We got to be better as a party. If we're going to call ourselves the party of the Democrats, the people of the republic, the democracy, we're the people of the democracy. If we're the people of democracy, then we got to start to act like it. It's like we're not reading the tea leaves. Why do we keep making decisions that just keep allowing us to lose? Like, I know we had a great president in Obama. That was really, I got to tell you, he was a lot. But, Biden took back the throne, and then we did this sloppiness to lose it. We ran, not to say Kamala wasn't tremendous. She was tremendous, but we don't know if that was the best thing. If we had more time, she could have talked to more people, made more of an impression, debated twice. Come on, what are we doing? Anybody else agree? Anybody else have thoughts about this? I don't know, man. I think we can do better as a party. I think we could have, found the best possible candidate. I think we could have beat Trump. There has to be a way. There has to be a way. Oh, is this Queen Donatella? Hold on.
Hello, Dr. P. Grand evening to the room. This latter part of what you're saying, I'm definitely digging that. Definitely been having conversations, for me, the day after, I was distraught, not because of the person who it is, but, some of us actually try to vote for things that matter to our bottom line, right? So the whole Department of Education thing with a special needs child is like, it's already a system that probably needs to be overhauled and revamped.
Yes, hold on. Here she is.
I was just saying, like, it's a system that's already kind of not working for special needs children.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's still a very scary thing. But I've been talking to people in these days, and, we just agree on some of the same things as far as togetherness and community and how important that is even more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing. And so the community collateral, social collateral, that's where our focus needs to be. We need to be in a space where we're building, like if government is going to be small, then locally so we argued about this point, and I think what it means is that we have greater responsibility at an individual level, at a community level, at a state level, to take up the power and the needs of our very close constituency and keep our focus there, not on controlling parts of the country. Even though we're connected, our focus, we lost the election. So our focus has to go local. That's just how it works. It doesn't mean you stop fighting. It doesn't mean you move out of the country, folks. It does not mean that. It means you fight harder.
Yeah, I think you messed up something, Dr. Pete, like touching buttons and swiping or something. But yeah, we just run it back. Same thing as like last year.
Right.
We went through the same pain, and so we know how to build underneath the same president, and so we just do what we need to do, treat each other well, and expect the worst, but know that we have built the best for ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yo, I love that. We know how to build under this president. We had a pandemic last time and we made it. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. Yo, we gonna be all right. And let me tell you something else. You may disagree with me on this point. You ready for this? You may disagree with me on this point, but I'm gonna say it. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? I'm gonna say this, and I need you to listen close because I mean this. The place that they're coming from is a homophobic, transphobic place when they put forward this rule. But Trump's day one plan, let's talk about it. Now, I'm talking as a psychologist who works with kids. I do not think that kids I don't know what age it is, but I don't think young children should be able to make decisions about sex hormone therapy. You know why? Because the implications of that medication are serious and they're long-term, and a lot of them are unknown. Come on, is anybody listening? Because Trump says he's banning that, and guess what? I don't agree with a lot of the things. I agree with that. Yo, do you know the best? Let me give you a timeout real quick. The best way that you can figure out how to build a relationship with somebody, when you're communicating, you first figure out what can you build agreement on. And we have not been doing that. Everybody wants to isolate themselves as so different and unique of a candidate, when the reality is we have the same problems. And not every time are you going to be on the opposite end of the same fucking problem. There's got to be times when you think for sure the same way as your opponent, quote unquote. You have to, because sometimes that's the right answer. And I don't agree with many of the things, and maybe the reasons why they're doing this are different from the way we see it. They may see it as their reason why is because they don't feel like trans folks are real. They don't feel like they want to do that's all their biases. I don't care. What I think about is I've worked with patients who are in their 20s who took sex hormone treatment, and that therapy is dangerous. We're suicidal. We're hospitalized. Come on. I'm telling you, I see the effects. I think it's not necessarily a bad thing that he's saying, hold up. You can't just do this. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's think about this for a second. You got to be how old to drink alcohol? 21? Okay, so you clearly don't have that decision-making skills, right? You got to be 18 to serve in the military, right? You got to be 18 to do that. To buy cigarettes, you got to be 18 to buy cigarettes. Okay? 17 to drive a car. 7 in some states, right? Come on. 17. You got to be 18 to vote. Come on. We don't even give them the power to vote. And yet we're going to just tell them that you could make the decision of whether you want to be a man or a woman and take serious medication. to determine your future as an adult when everything in psychology has always talked about understanding the self and forming the identity. It's a fluid experience for young children, and it takes time. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm curious to hear what you think.
Oh, absolutely not. Stop fighting. This is something me and Chuck were talking about, and we have started to switch a lot of thought process because, Chuck was all for Kamala Harris, and I'm an independent. I've been a long time independent, but now in the group meeting that we had, now our focus is more of, okay, what can we do to combat some of these things that might be rolling into place? Because, even though Trump is Trump, he still has to come up against other people who don't think like him and know reality. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. I am worried, but I'm not trying to stay in the worried.
There you go. We all are, who didn't vote for him. I honestly think it's the same worry, just in a different direction. The people who voted for him, they're worried too. We're a country gripped by fear on both sides of the aisle. Whatever division that really is. We're all, even within our party, there's much division. We can't put these lines like this, Democrat, Republican. Where does it really end? Where does the other one begin? We're all scared for the well-being of this country for very different reasons. Each person wants to see them and theirs be okay. Everybody lives in different ways and has different needs and perspectives of what is safe for them and their beliefs. What their finances need to be supported, what programs they need, what's important to them in the world. Everybody has their perspective. So I think we have to start to try to have more unity. Now that may sound naive, but it sounds to me like the thing that we're missing, that's the whole point. That's why they call us the United States. That's why it's the name of our country.
Yes, definitely means that you fight harder. And that can be hard. That can be a daunting task, right? Because if we're going to just keep it all the way funky, as I like to say, we've become very comfortable with our comforts. And people don't like to give up their comforts.
Addicted to them.
I know people who are willing and who have given up their comforts for the bigger picture and things, right?
Yes.
So this made me feel like, okay, well then maybe I need to get involved now at the school board level, not there just because I've always advocated for my son, right? But I can do my part in advocating for my son and others that come after him and who are there with him, like you said. And also one of my main things is spending. Hold on, let me spin the.
You had to clear your throat. She had to clear her throat. She was like, hold on. That spending must be heavy. Hold up for a second.
I have so much going on, and Dr. Pete is so passionate. What you're saying isn't throwing any flags in my head, but at the same time, I don't know what you're saying. What it sounds like is that it makes sense not to allow kids to, be placed on hormonal treatment for gender dysphoria. It sounds like, or some sort. I'm unfamiliar with all that. But just that makes sense. Something about that makes sense. I think I'm just too tired to really think about it.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, we got to protect our kids, even from ourselves, even from their Googling on the internet. In their social circles, trying to figure out their own identity.
They're trying to figure it out.
Frankly, at what age is our identity really formed?
But that's not what I'm talking about. Even I don't care for when they what their struggle is. I don't have a like you're saying. I don't have a problem with that. That's a part of their identity development. Enjoy it and embrace it. Claim whatever you want to claim. Live in it beautifully. But when you start talking about the addition of medication to a developing mind and a developing body, We don't know the implications of drugs. I am not really a fan of drugs for ADHD. I'm like, I know they treat, I know there's, claims for effectiveness. I do not feel like drugs should be the first line of treatment. And at the end of the day, right, and that lands over to just say, because of the side effects. And what I'm seeing is the side effects, look it up. The sex therapy side effects are grave. Depression, what I'm seeing. So what I got to tell you this, I don't know if you know this about medication, but what I see in medication, right? The effects that you see anecdotally, they're rare in certain situations, but they don't claim them. And then they become, over time, there becomes enough of that number of incidents, of those cases, that they can now add that to the list of symptoms. And that takes time, and that takes study, but doesn't mean that the side effects are not deeply much more dangerous than even listed. And what I'm seeing anecdotally is that people who are taking these medications are often being suicidal. And that could be because pre-existing conditions of depression. It could be a number of things, but it concerns me. It's not something to just say, hey, let's just go ahead. We're ready to administer it. The drugs are pretty good. Yo, that's not what, and then we can argue it in some instances that we know drug companies are about making money. Why are we allowing them to be pushed on our children? We shouldn't. We shouldn't. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't take sex therapy when they want to, when as adults, when their mind is developed enough and they can be responsible. One of the keys, and this is why the question of what that age is, I'm sure it's less than 21 or at 21, we consider that an adult. So minimally, or it would be 21. But the reality is, maturity is not about an age. It's not about a chronological age. The ability to make independent thought adolescence is expired somewhere in the 20s. Now, I'm not suggesting in any way that you can't make that decision by your 20s, but I'm just saying you're forming identity still into your 20s. Adolescence is a period that extends beyond just being 18, 17, or your teenage years. Adolescence is about independence, ability to make relationships, ability to take care of yourself, to look inward and be self-critical. These are the major areas of maturity into adulthood and early adulthood, out of adolescence. This is important. This is important. What this says is we need to be thinking that these decisions may not be ready to make these decisions because they're not even independent. They're not even fully in the world. They're not even fully in the world. They don't know themselves in the world. They know themselves in little communities that are often wrought with harsh little assholes who make them feel like shit and run them through some awful experiences that make them feel conflicted. And, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. That's not where you have to make a decision from. Yo, there's a lot of people out here. What's up, you guys? I'm Dr. Pete. It's good to hear you. Thanks for hanging out with me. We're going to talk a little bit about everything because I'm here for a minute. Let's kick it.
I've had concerns about some of my family members allowing their teenage children to smoke weed. I mean, to start talking about testosterone and other hormones, that's just ridiculous to me. It's been something that I've been prodding people about for a while.
Really good point. Excellent point.
So now I've decided to, and I'm looking at ways to, like, if they are implementing this Project 2025, you got to look in there and see ways of you making a profit, being able to make your way. Okay, they want to impose tariffs. We know that tariffs is going to kick back to the consumer. It's going to kick back, the companies are going to kick it to the consumer, right? And we love our spending. We have all this spending power. Poor and struggling, yet we have all of this spending power. And I had already over the last couple weeks tamped down on my spending. And at first it was kind of hard, and then you I could do this, and then implement things even further than that. Because if that's where you feel like you want it, while they're getting all these tax cuts, then you got to hit them where it means something to them.
That's right.
And that takes planning and organization.
Now you start talking scary talk to the people, right? Now you're talking about real action rather than rhetoric, rather than conversation. You're talking about, you keep your words, your thoughts about me, and I'll keep my money to me. Now Donna's telling. You understand me? That's what we're talking about. You hit them where it means something. It really communicates something. It starts to say, yeah, we got to make sure we tend to these people's needs. Real talk.
I don't, being in the field and even without being in the field, I don't see children being able to make that kind of decision over their bodies. They're mentally not there yet. Save it for when they become an adult. Support your child in how they feel. Of course,
that's right.
Don't talk down to your child because this is how they believe they are. But when it comes to life-altering changes to the body, yes, I have to agree. Leave that for adulthood because their minds are not ready for all of that yet. And they could change their mind at any time.
Can I tell you something else? This is the real thing. This is the real thing. I got to tell you, it'd be exciting if it'd be nice to be able to agree with Trump about something, but what happens is there's so many people who are doing this out of hatred, and that's where the problem is, and that's why people get emotionally barred and defensive around it, and they become angry with Trump, and because they feel like he's trying, and all of the rhetoric that may be in him and in other people that are trying to shut down other people's way of living. That's not what this is about, folks. Whether you agree with it or not, it's not your life to choose. So they get to choose, but they get to choose when they fully can understand the consequence of their choice. Because ultimately, that's what responsibility for the self is whatever the consequences are, I can handle them. I will take them up. That's what my choice is. I'm responsible for me. And I don't think they are, as children, ready to make such said responsibility for their choices. What's up, you guys? Let me hear your thoughts.
Yo, Dr. Pete, man.
Yo.
I've seen you on here since like 2019.
Come on, man.
2020 or some shit.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Good.
shout out to the room. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out, bro.
Hey, man. Good topic you got going on here because I know about drugs. Dealing with my, let me just say, a family member that was going through dementia, and I had to take that person I had to make a long trip. To make a long story short. To a doctor's visit. Right. And I was like, damn, are you smoking crack or what the hell is wrong with you? This guy's all over the place,
Wow.
Couldn't find out he's on Oxycontin and some other drugs that have him freaking the hell out, man. And I was like, bro, you need to get this stuff checked out, man, because like our elderly people that are like in dementia, early stages and stuff like that, they put them on some heavy meds, man. It's crazy, bro. That stuff will mess them up, man. Like, that stuff's stronger than friggin' dope that's on the streets.
Bro, it don't even have to be Oxycontin or Cotin. It can be just Xanax, which is prescribed for anxiety. Can I just tell you anecdotally, the patients I've seen that have been the most anxious are the ones after they start taking Xanax. They have the most severe panic attacks I've ever seen. Like shut down panic attacks. And guess what it says on the bottle? Side effects, panic attacks. What? Come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These drugs, they're really, the best thing you can do is try to fight for your health holistically. And I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a psychologist. I'm not giving you this as a prescription. I'm just telling you, for me and mine, what I do, I may have weight struggles, but I'll tell you this, I am not on any medications. I do not have diabetes, hypertension, because I fight for it. I'm eating as a vegan. Today I did 1,500 calories. I'm fighting for it. I'm drinking water. I'm just trying to do everything I can do. I try to, I did yoga today. I went walking today. I'm fighting for my health. And that's what we have to do. Because these medications, they're a downward spiral. You start taking medications for your medication. I got to take a Xanax for the Xanax, God damn it.
Not only that, start making sure you circulate your dollar in your community.
Come on.
Not outside of your community. Circulate it within your community, however, wherever you can.
Yeah.
And see how it hits them. If everybody decided we're not gonna, or a good amount of people decided we're not going to Black Friday shop, just for the first big thing, we're not gonna Black Friday shop.
Right.
Do you
Right.
I feel like here in the 21st century, we haven't had any real leadership in the way of people who are willing to risk what they have for generations to come, you know?
Yo. And that is exactly what it is. You better be ready to be a martyr to the cause. The reality is, I think we have to really take assessment on what, especially in our community. What are we, the $4 trillion in spending? We are the heartbeat of this thing. We are the buying masters. We got all sorts of designer shit wrapped up in name brand shit in the corner on top of some name brand shit. Come on. We are the master consumers. And then we don't want to spend. But here's the thing. There's too often, and I love Instagram for this. It has made black business much more out there in the forefront. I try to buy black products when I can. I hope you do too. But I'll tell you this, I have felt extremely supported in my private practice as a psychologist. The great majority of my patients are people of color. And I got to tell you, black people specifically, and I'll tell you, it's beautiful to see black families. And let me tell you, I'm seeing almost 60 patients a week. And the reason why I work this much is because it is so hard to tell a black person that I'm not going to be able to be their therapist when they're asking specifically, hey, you know, I've really been looking for a black therapist. It's meaningful to them. I feel an obligation. There are not many black therapists. There are not many black doctors. And I think it really is our responsibility to serve our communities. And so I feel hugely thankful to those who have patronized my business. They make it possible for me to, to live. And so we have to support black businesses in every form. And the black businesses owe us as well. Quality service, quality merchandise, quality product, right? Quality. And that's what I'm committed to. Quality. I deliver quality. You look me up, I'm the #1 psychologist in this area of New Jersey. I deliver quality. Quality. I take care of my patients with my whole heart. And that's what we have to do as black businesses, and we have to be committed to taking care of each other as black consumers. Let's get this dollar rolling, y'all. Hold on for a second.
No, Dr. Pete. This has been my thing, by the way. Just telling people no and then being irate in this pretending way. Let our kids make their own decisions. They deserve not to have our input because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like that's the common consensus with parents, especially parents nowadays, specifically millennial parents.
Well, it's clearly going on in that house. He's got his son popping in the background here. Yeah, he's like, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah, my bad. Hey, I'm getting a little bit more feeling for the room. Talking with my mom the other day, because I got little kids, and sometimes I whoop them, And my mom's telling me not to whoop my kids. And I'm like, Mom, what? Because my mom used to beat the crap out of me, but she's telling me
how about that?
She's grown and she's raising great grandkids and stuff like that. She said, no, don't whoop the kids. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Who the hell is this woman I'm talking to?
It's perspective.
What she's saying is, especially for us black folk,
right?
That is the first form of black on black violence that you'll experience.
Pain. Come on, talk to me. I'm about to play this comment again.
Talk to your kids. Explain to them they're children. They
are
children. It was a tough pill for me to swallow.
Wait a minute.
Damn, I remember as a kid, my mom just coming in, or my dad just coming in, whooping on me and stuff like that. What are they so angry about? What the hell,
What the hell?
As a kid, you don't think like that.
Your first experience.
Let's stop beating on our kids.
Your first experience of trauma is an ass whooping. Hell yeah. Or even watching your sibling get beat. And you just sitting there crying because your sibling getting beat. Trying to take one for the team. Or watching your parent get beat. Like this shit in our community, the hands is always ready. So many people are in jail because of their hands. You know what I mean? Kids can't focus in school because of their hands.
Shout out to Dr. P, man. Ex Dr. P. Paco in the beat, you heard me? Hey, look, check this out. To get everyone to unite in such a way is just crazy, man. That's like taking away they bathing privileges, you feel me? Donna, she telling them like good shit. You feel me? But to get them to stick together and not do something with such a significant impact on the government, shit, you might as well take a shower rag and wipe their face off. They'd rather go for that first. You feel me? Hey, shout out to the messages, man. Lovable people, beautiful messages, and shout out to Dr. P for showing his face on these streets. We in it big, stereo, shut up.
It is big. Tell them about it, man. So good to hear you, man. Paco, what it is, bro. Good to be with you. Good. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your comments, man. I tell you, and I agree. And Donatel's making great points. This idea of unity is something else, but we got to figure it out, man. When she talked about that leadership, that's really what it boils down to. But this leader thing is not. Get out of your mind that leadership is something that happens like in the world to you for you to observe. No, leadership happens in your stereo posts, in your comments, in my show, in your thoughts. That's leadership. And it could reach a broader scale, and I get that it needs to, but we all just do all that we can. It's when you go to work, you're a leader. When you raise your kid, you're a leader. When you stand up in the community and do community service from church or just by your own lonesome, then you're a leader. When you're confronting and you lay down and take help out somebody in need, you're a leader. Yo, it's all there. It's all in those, and we just keep doing it without looking for some type of title or accolades or attention. We just keep doing what we're doing and be committed to that end. I think it matters. Yo, I'm listening to you. Hold on.
The main thing I guess I've had to with Trump as a POTUS, because remember, I don't like the man for the man, but him as a POTUS has opened doors for people to be blatant racist and to speak what they've been holding all this time and know that they have no consequences now. See, people were afraid to say what they meant before because there was consequences. With him stepping into this POTUS seat, they feel they have free reign to be however they choose to be. And the nonsense is already started. If he came into POTUS without that type of nonsense following him, I think it would be a lot different. People would have a different view of the man as a POTUS. But he's coming in with nonsense and craziness, people following behind him. And he's not telling them not to be that way.
Yeah, he's an opportunist to some degree. And my prayer is now that he's already done his 2 elections and had all the votes he needs, I hope that he's much more even now. I hope he says things like, no, I'm not about the division of this country. I'm about a unified country where all Americans can do well. I'm about everybody's needs and what some of the things I think they're just what I believe are for the best for our country. It's not, and he says things like, I'm going to protect you anyway. Now, yeah, that feels like it is a sexist, patriarchal statement, but at least from what he's trying to say is that his intention is good. Rather than fuck this subset of people, or I don't care about their needs or their political. No, everybody matters. You represent us all. This is our new president, y'all. Yo. I wasn't mad at him when he sent me that check. I know nobody wants to talk about that check. None of us, none of the Democrats want anybody to mention them checks that was coming in. They'd be like, oh, well, you're not supposed to mention the checks because just like you're going to be bought off. Just like, I'm like, wait a minute. I can still be thankful that my man sent me a check, bro. What's up, you guys? Yo, thanks for hanging out. I'm Dr. Pete. We're here hanging out on Stereo. Doing a show of sorts, I guess. I haven't talked in a while, but I felt like, we had to get on here and have some real conversation with the people. What up, y'all?
So I guess my point is when people realize the power of the tongue, realize the power of their voice, you can either use it for good or not good, It's something to be said to be able to inspire, not only inspire, but get people to move to action based off of you speaking. So I'm not as skeptical. I'm not as pessimistic. I'm always very hopeful. I'm always very optimistic, even in the face of hardship.
Come on.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you never know. You never know. Look out, because somebody might be coming up through the ashes, baby.
Come on,
and able to inspire.
Come on.
And move people.
You gotta move.
And that's a thing. That's a wonderful thing to behold, really and truly.
Yo, you gotta move the crowd. You gotta move the crowd. I gotta tell you this. I love. Thank you, Donatello, for your comment. Thank you for hanging out in the show. Thank you for all you're delivering. I gotta tell you, it is up, and the opportunities are all around us to be the change that we want to see in the world. Be fearless. Be hopeful. Never let anyone or anything, even the struggle, when we go through the struggle, Nietzsche talks about this. Friedrich Nietzsche, brilliant mind, brilliant writer. He says, I wish unto all my friends and family hardship, struggle, sickness. He says, because it's in that you really get to understand yourself. It's through that you grow, that you become more. I think that's really a powerful concept, really powerful concept. He talks about human will. He said, you really measure people's power. Right? This is a good one, right? He says you measure people's power by their ability to endure hardship, right? By their struggles. That ability to endure, it makes something of you. And your power to hang in there is key. It's key. And so it makes more of you to go through these things. And so we have to trust that the hardships we're about to face, whatever they may be as a country on both sides of the aisle, these things we have to push to let them fuel our growth. It's not about demise. We remain hopeful. We remain hopeful. We remain strong. We remain positive, uplifting, focused, get a clearer vision. Get a clearer vision for you, your family. Get a clearer vision for the community that you live in. Get a clearer vision for what you want to impact. I want to see more. We have had some great politicians emerge in this last election. And for black people even, we've, senators, female senators too. From Maryland, sister from Maryland, Maryland is down there doing their political thing. Brothers down there in Baltimore, mayor of Baltimore, killing it. Young brother talking straight up to the people. Come on. We got to keep hope. We're doing this thing. We have great minds. We have great minds right here in this audience. I appreciate the things that you're saying. And I love what King said. He was like, we got to stop beating our kids. We got to start to uplift each other. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. And let me tell you what that looks like. One of the things that I struggle with the most, stay with me on this for just a second. One of the things I struggle with the most is the energy that we don't want to see in our quote unquote opponent, the opposing argument, the Republicans. We don't want to see that vitriol, that hatred, that anger, that negative, that hate. And then we turn around and hate them. Hate Donald Trump. I can't tell you how many times I heard people who talk about how bad their supporters are and then mention the word that they hate Donald Trump. Well, wait a minute. That's hypocritical. Be the change that you want to see. If the best thing you could do is like what Gandhi suggested. He said, you go high and you shame them into self-reflection. You get them to see them by being better than them. That's the realest shit. Hold on for a second.
Yeah, I don't consider myself Latino, Hispanic, none of that. Good. I'm not. I'm indigenous. And I can say that proudly because I know exactly where I come from and who my people are. And yes, some of them are on the Mexico border side, but they're from Chihuahua, up in the Copper Canyons and stuff.
I'm mad at this.
And they are the indigenous people there of the Tarahumara, the Umari, and they are indigenous. A lot of these people don't even know their true identity. They only know what the colonization has told them. They don't even know who they are. So they don't even know to be proud of themselves or to think differently. They want to be white so bad. And I wish I was lying.
The Tumara Humara, that's who put Trump in office. The Tumara Humara Chihuahuas. What they do out there? Somebody better talk to my Latino. I'm mad at them. Yo, and now here's the other thing I'm gonna hate on. They 12% of the population right now. We're like 11%. What's going on? Y'all gonna make me talk about border control. Y'all gonna make me talk about border control. I don't want to talk about border control. People gonna make me talk. Listen, we got too many people. Can I tell you why I'm mad at Latinos? Not because you didn't put Kamala in office. Maybe that's a part of it, all right? But you know why I'm mad at Latinos? Because there's a goat next door to my house right now. 2 goats and chickens. I'm talking about literally in the suburbs of New Jersey. What the fuck is going on, man? Listen, I'm not trying to be negative. I speak Spanish fluently. ¿Entiendes? Yo hablo español, no problema. Yo no tengo más problema. What I'm trying to say to you is, listen, no hay problema. I'm trying to say to you, there's a goat next door. Foul ball. Muy malo. You know what I'm saying? Very bad. We don't want, yo, don't let it be a holiday. Latino music blasting. The Spanish music blasting. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll rock with that shit for like an hour. But fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon at 10 from 12 midnight, loud as shit. I'm like, yo, come on, bro. I love my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? I love my neighbor, whoever they are. That's what's in the Bible, to love our neighbor. But I'm mad right now. There's a goat fucking next door. Hold on. We need to talk about it.
Hey, yo, Dr. Pete, what's going on? Good to see your face, hear your voice. All right, let's go.
What up, bro? What up, bro? What up, bro? Yo, it's good to have you out here, man. Yo, we rocking, yo. We got folks in the comment section.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Pete. Welcome back to Stereo. Shout out to the listeners as well. Happy Friday night. Hopefully everybody is having a good time.
Come on, we out here, man. Yo, appreciate you being in the comment section, being in the show. Thank you for joining me. It's Friday night. You're hanging out with Dr. Pete. We're doing the fucking thing. It's good to hear some of these voices. I haven't seen you guys in a long time. But here we are on stereo. Hold up.
That's my last message for real. Hey, 2019, I had a truck. I had my own 18-wheeler, right? 2019. Trump came in office. 2019, December, I got my truck. 2020, COVID hit. So I had a bad year, 2020, right? But I'm going to tell you what. It was great for small businessmen. The only thing that COVID jacked up fuel prices.
Right.
But as far as being a small businessman, things were great. It was beautiful.
Come on.
You hear me? It was beautiful. COVID is the only thing messed it up. Other than that, man, Trump was looking out for the small businessman. I don't vote. Somebody say it don't mean shit in all the world, right? But I'm just going to say for the small businessman, for business people, Trump is the shit. If you ain't got no business, then go vote Democracy.
If you ain't got no business, I don't know.
Dr. Pete, I'm mad too. That's why I know what I'm saying is true. They want to be white so bad. I have been over there on X. I'm in the mix of all of the communities over there. Those that are speaking Spanish, those that are speaking English. And the responses when I asked them, why Trump? What was it that he was doing for you that you really felt that you needed to vote for? And I'm not even playing. That is exactly what this one dude goes, well, we're not really brown. We're actually white. A lot of Mexico is mixed with Spaniards, which is true. Because, the Spaniard conquistadors went over there in a mix. That's where predominant language over there is Spanish. But there's a lot of indigenous people still there. And it's horrible.
Look, I'm from the islands, right? And you got light skin, dark skin, you got white Bahamians too, and we call them Conky Joe. But then being in the military, I had a Puerto Rican buddy. And then I learned that there's Puerto Rican and Mexican beef. Because I had a Mexican guy in my squad and a Puerto Rican guy in my squad. And these two would be, I got to break these guys up all the time.
Really?
The Puerto Rican hate the way the Mexicans speak Spanish. Because the Puerto Rican, they speak a little bit faster, and then the Mexican, they speak a little bit slower. So it's like, I'm like, goddamn, niggas, I'm like, goddamn. Like, we all niggas in the bitch. Like, what the fuck, nigga? But yeah, Negro shit, hey, that coloring, even with light-skinned niggas and dark-skinned niggas. We got beef. I got beef with niggas. I'll be sure type niggas. But you know, because they used to take my girl back in the day. But yeah, there's beef all around. My Haitians too, man.
Come on, man. We got to get it together. Let's get together. One love.
Okay, I've been lying. Last message. Okay, hey, I don't give a damn. I like Trump being in office, even though, like I said, I am vote. But I like white people being real. I don't like when Democrats in office and everybody being fake as shit and all that. They hug you and then they stab you in the goddamn back. No, shoot me in the fucking face, nigga. Like, let's just be blunt.
Right.
Don't bullshit me. Trump ain't bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? Democrats, yeah, they give you a black face, they give you a female. Oh, yay. Nah, fuck that shit. He's gonna do the same shit Trump gonna do, just in a nicer fucking way. Get the fuck off this democracy, man. Fucking Republicans, they're the same. Democrat, Republican, fuck all them niggas. Get your own place. Live in your own world. Stop voting for motherfuckers. Vote for your goddamn self. Bet on yourself, goddamn, but don't be afraid.
Bet on you. Bet on you. So, you know, I gotta say, what he's saying makes sense to me, you know, to some degree, is that, you know, I've heard it said that the Democrats and the Republicans are two crooked wings of the same bird. And I think that makes sense, right? Like, that they just don't, like, we can't, both have limitations, both have some strengths. I guess I just feel like we have become so fearful that we're going to be neglected. And that's not how it should be. The whole country should be like, the interest of the entire country are always being considered. And I think it's really hard to do because of how diverse of a country it is and how has it always been. It's just very divided as to what are the priorities. And right now, Donald Trump seems like he has his finger on the pulse of what are our country's priorities in some really important areas. That's something to consider. I think we as a Democratic Party have to become clear about where are the people in this country and what do they need. And when we go about going into an election, even though I do think Kamala was a great candidate, I do feel like we have to find, you know, be smart, execute. If we knew we were going to get Biden out, we should have got him out a little bit earlier. Come on, that's my position. Anyway, I got to say, what I am excited about is to catch some of them sound bites that he does. He's a beast in that media room, boy. When he starts talking to the press, he is so hilarious. You don't deserve enough from you nasty person, you nasty woman. He says people things. He starts talking to the Chinese reporters, all racist. He's like, so you people from your country, you people. He starts giving them all the whatever microaggression he could come up with. It's great to see an unapologetic nut sometimes. I got to tell you, not to say Donald Trump is completely nuts. He's not, but he's enough nuts that's pretty funny. He's pretty funny. I think he has a funny sense of humor. I think a lot of time the media kind of really runs with that. I don't think he's as daft as he even sounds. I think he's daft in some pretty scary ways, but some of the stuff he says, he's just trying to be fucking funny. Hold on for a second.
Nigga, I wish my neighbor had a motherfucking goat, goddammit. I'd be over there. When you gonna kill this nigga? Cause I just give me a leg, nigga. What? See, stop being bougie, younger people, goddammit. Yeah, get some goats, get some fucking quail and some goats and raise them shits, y'all city ass.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. This motherfucker's got goats next door. He ain't trying to give me no goat leg. I don't know. If he's raising them to cook them, then I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But don't just keep a little farm over there, like for goat milk, when you could just go to the shop, right, and get some regular milk. Like, you don't need, come on, would you stop it, bro?
So if you still got a job and have to go to work every day, you're a fucking slave. So whatever you got to say don't mean shit. You can cry to slave master all day. Oh, master this. Oh, master that. Guess what? You was a slave. I'm so tired. Because you have a job. And you got to go to work and punch a fucking clock. And if you don't show up, you don't get paid. That's the whip.
Oh, God. Yeah, and the more money you make, I feel like the more, like they dangle more carrot, and you're like, you go harder to go get the carrot, right? So you work more. I'm working like a ridiculous amount of hours. I'm like, I don't know. Do I feel like working this much anymore? I'm tired. Hold on for a second. Speaking of tired folks, I'm about to jump off in a minute. I want to thank you guys for hanging out here. It's been quite the show. I've really enjoyed having all of you kind of hang out. I'll tell you, I hope these thoughts have you thinking about things. You know, that's really the beauty of a different opinion, is it pushes you to think outside of yourself. What I've learned to do is be curious about opinions outside of my own. I really feel curious about what people think and, you know, why they think it and what they feel, and be curious about that, because I tell you, there's something about considering an alternate perspective that makes more of your own. Let me tell you this, in the very least, by being able to understand someone else's perspective, you definitely get to respond effectively to it. If it's disagree or agree, but the reality is, whatever you say, if you understand what they're saying, is going to be more effective at addressing. Even if you want to argue it down, the better you understand it, the better you'll be at that. Yeah, man, work to understand first before being understood. It's a powerful, powerful tool to really, you know, ultimately, really, you know, connecting with another person, but also being able to influence. If I can change your mind a bit, if I really understood your perspective, maybe I can get you to see the part that you're missing. I'd be much more effective in that, rather than just trying to crumble your argument and say that you're completely wrong. Thank you for hanging out and sharing your ideas. I'm gonna pop a couple more bubbles, share a couple more thoughts, and I'm gonna chill out and, you know what I mean? Sit in this new era of thinking and think about, you know, thinking of a master plan. You know what I'm saying? Think about how am I gonna do this and under this? Like somebody said, how are we gonna thrive under this new administration? That's gotta be the movement. That's gotta be the focus for sure. Hold up.
Hey, yo, shout out to everybody in the messages, everyone in the room. Salute to Dr. Pete. Hey, look, check this here. Let's not forget to love. And remember that whatever decision that was made, it was made because it was made. There's nothing we can do about it, but something that we can. What we can do is remember to stay active in our communities, active in our state, active in our youth, active in ourselves, active in our love, active in our health. Hey, just believe that faith and love shall prevail over all this, bro. You feel me? No matter who got in office, no matter who you wanted, no matter who you didn't want, remember that we can overcome and overturn anything at the blink of an eye if we wanted to. Believe in that. Have faith in that. Stereo shit up.
Yo, have that in your consciousness. Hold that in your understanding. No better way to end the show right there on that note, because it is the realest thing. Hold your faith. Always keep your faith. When somebody said, you know, my wife even mentioned, you know, I want to think about leaving this country. Oh, hell no. I fought for this. My ancestors fought for this. I'm a successful black man in this country. My doctorate is from this school, in this institution. I got their degrees. I'm winning over here. I ain't gonna stop winning. I'm gonna win more. Fuck that. I got my PhD from their Ivy League school. I'm not gonna stop. You don't stop either. This is my country. This is our country. We ain't going the fuck nowhere. We're here to win. We're here to stay. This administration will come and pass. Let me tell you one thing. Why don't you challenge them? I say this, you know, and I'm going to end the show with this. Since y'all all about making America great, then go ahead, make it great then. Make it great then. That's your challenge. Let's all make America great then. Let's do it. Let's do it like it's never been done before. No matter what they try to talk about, there will be no turning back of any clocks. We are forever in an ever stream of consciousness called the now. So let's go ahead and make America great right now. Let's do this. And what it means to be great from my perspective is to be actually the United States of America. Come together and find our common strengths. Start to win on that. Hold faith that, you know, if you need, push your voice harder locally. Help your people locally. Make an impact locally. Don't feel disenfranchised by no one. Don't let anyone push you off this land. This is our land. You know what I'm saying? We rocking out here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me. Until next time. Yo, peace.
This is Dr. Pete, and you've been tripping with Dr. Pete. For the full show, please listen to us live on stereo, or you can listen to playbacks on YouTube, Anchor, and Spotify. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, huh? Peace.